Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone. Miss Natasha here. I hope you're doing well. I am a mental wellness creator and creative and disability advocate, author, and speaker. Every time I do this Create Don't Hate show, I'm just amazed at who says yes and who says no. And this time I have a lovely, lovely, lovely young man. The words that come to my head when I see him or when I thought of doing asking him to be on the show were dedicated, loving, and community driven. So
I
I'll let
love it.
him introduce himself.
Hey, absolutely. And it's a pleasure to be on with you, Miss Natasha. And my name is Ryan Knight. For those that may not know, I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies. And I'm an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And what I'm most proud of with our company is our youth entrepreneurship program. So we teach high school and college students, and even those out of school, how to start a business so they know they have the potential to be an entrepreneur by running a mini version of our company.
Yay. I remember when the young people would be in the shop with cars in my high school, and that's what and my uncles used to be in the shop with cars. So and cars are one of my passions. I don't own one.
Nice. Yes.
I don't own one as yet, but I've driven them. I love them, and I can't wait to get my first one. So, because I'll be going to uh you to come and detail my car one.
And that's what keeps us in business. We're here for you.
All right.
Yes, yes.
So, I'm going to start off with the informational interview and then just get it. I'll just get right into it. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate you. I appreciate your family, and
Thank you.
I really love that you are family oriented. You are about community and connection, and that's one of the reasons why I asked you on the show.
They appreciate that. And really, where would I be without family? And even I always say there's no way forward without collaboration, but there's also no way forward without a strong foundation. And my family, my wife has been a rock for me. My kids keep me grounded. And it was my family and my friends that helped Detailing Nights even get off the ground 15 years ago after I was laid off from my job. And that was 2 weeks before my wedding, and realized that entrepreneurship was a better way forward. My dad kept saying, if you want to get rich, start a business. If you want to control your own destiny, become an entrepreneur. And so that was the best time for me to go back to school. I finished my diploma at Sheridan College and then started the business at the same time, Detailing Nights. So it's been, I would say, a team effort. Let's put it that way. That wouldn't definitely not be able to get here without that support.
And you all help me to gear myself closer and closer to honing in on exactly who and what and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I went to one of the trainings you had when you started to come to Durham, and it just
Yes, yes,
slapped me up, wake me up. So thank you, thank
absolutely.
you. All right. So you did say a bit about this just now, but I'll just ask if you'd like to say more than that's wonderful. Did the industry you're in choose you, or did you choose the industry?
I definitely would say I chose it because my brother was the one that actually loved to clean cars, and I was going to school for accounting. So I said, okay, I'm learning the business side. I will be the one to go out and market and get business. And then he was doing the detailing because he was working, I think, for one of the dealerships at the time, and but he wanted to branch out on his own. So that's where we initially just partnered up to say, hey, Detailing Nights will be actually our first name was KDS 2000. So Knights
Whoa.
Detailing Service 2000. So not many people know that. So that would be some good trivia. But KDS 2000, and then we yeah, it's grown from there.
Wow. We didn't know all this. Like, it's even more intriguing, you know? The trials that we go through build us to be sky the limit.
The sky is the limit. And that's why I love entrepreneurship because the barrier to entry is really low, but the potential is unlimited. So we try to get this in as many of our youth's hands to say, here is an option for you. If you're trying to find your way, even if you just need a job, think of starting a business because there's grants out there like Summer Company that'll give you $3,000 to start a business to see if it's for you. And so you can test it out. And then any of those experiences that you build can now translate to any career path that you choose. So I always say entrepreneurship will battle test you, you know, like your graduating class, you're going to be ahead of them if you started a business, even if it's just for a summer.
Wow. And that's a fact. Even if
Hmm.
it's a little chips, lip gloss, you name it.
Exactly.
Oh, the printing machine, you can make all sorts of things with that.
Hey, printing t-shirts, yeah, like anything that you can just get passionate about to do for a summer. And you learn to talk to clients, you learn to deliver service, you learn to get yourself out there. And communication is so huge. No matter what you're doing in life, you have to learn how to communicate. And I feel like talking to a potential client and selling yourself is a really excellent skill for anybody to learn.
It is. And executing it afterward.
Absolutely.
And you did actually answer this, but what made you gravitate to the company you're in or create the company you have?
Yeah, well, I guess there's two stories there. So the first one was, I was just about to get married and start a family. So my quota was I have to get out and make $100 a day. So I went to my brother and said, hey, I'm going door to door to get us business. So
Mhm.
that initial drive to start the family and just making money was why Detailing Nights was started. But then after Detailing Nights grew, I realized that it wasn't growing because it didn't have the right support. And there were, when we wanted to franchise and expand across Canada, there were no Black focused business organizations that I could go to that could support that growth or had the mandate to scale up companies. So we brought six other entrepreneurs, said, could we figure out and build an entity that would sit down with a business owner, figure out what stage they're in, and then help them create a plan, create a strategy to grow their companies. And thus ACBN was born. So that really drove us or drove myself to want to be part of the nonprofit. So initially starting the business, hey, I want to make money, build for my family, but then realizing that we need support to grow is why we started the Afro Caribbean Business Network.
And that's Ubuntu.
100%, yes.
Yeah, everything about it. It just went and then it's like a Rubik's Cube boom, done. Not done, but it's like forming.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. What are the skills you would use the least within your chosen field?
The least one, that's a good question because I know I love like seeing numbers and spreadsheets. So I use that one a lot, and especially with operationally. But I find HR skills, I really
Mhm.
had to outsource that. Like, I'm not a person that will interview 100 people and then have to filter through. If you tell me that you can do the job, I'll believe you. So
Mhm.
I will put you in and give you a chance. But there is a skill in filtering who would be the best fits. And
Mhm.
so that HR skill, I definitely had to find people smarter than me to help with. And then, I mean, marketing and sales is always there, but finding people that really are experts in building marketing strategies so that, and actually executing it, because it takes so much time that you can't be doing.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm learning about that outsourcing. It's a
right?
Try to
Be
do it all
learning how to
you
build
can.
team.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And allocating some of the funds for that. And it's
right, right, right.
if it's under the belt of the business.
Mm,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Okay, so I'm getting into the juicy stuff now.
All right.
And this one just piggybacks off of I believe who you are. And
Mm.
so how are you of service to others?
Well, the great thing by building out this network with our nonprofit, the Afro Caribbean Business Network, we're mandated to serve.
Mhm.
And I find we initially built it because I did see a need for myself. It's like, hey, I know I need more support with my business to help it grow. But
Mhm.
then by identifying that need for myself, you realize there's so many other entrepreneurs in our community that are going through the same thing and don't have anywhere to turn. So now being able to have an entity that people know about, it's wild. 6 years later, we've engaged with over 6,000 Black entrepreneurs, and so people are talking about us to say like, oh, if you have an idea for a business, do you know about ACBN? You have
That's
to go
right.
to either their info session about grants or learn about how they can just coach you and become a member. So being an option for people is really that warms my heart. Like now people don't feel as alone as they might have felt 6 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Whew. How does your company business orchestrate organizational integrity?
Mm. Well, that comes with building a strong team as well. So, my co executive director, it was really important to have somebody to balance out because, you have one point of view and it turns into like a dictatorship. So, bringing in Nicola, where she was better at governance and working on the structure of the nonprofit, helping also with grant writing and strategic planning. So, now having that strong team, it allowed us to really form what we're trying to do better. So having people that are around you that can help you in that area, that's helped a lot.
Something you said on the panel is not a lot of people just smiling and grinning or something like that.
Mm,
And actually like doing some work. I was listening to y'all.
doing the work, exactly.
I was
Because we're
listening.
so good. We're good at parties, and so we're good at doing conferences and
Yeah.
summits and symposiums. But what's happening in between those celebration events? That's when the true work needs to be done. So that's why we do like weekly drop-ins for entrepreneurs where they can come onto a Zoom call, ask questions. We do coaching one-to-one. We have a social enterprise that does marketing and sales for entrepreneurs because I find building out sales solves a lot of problems.
Oh,
Like a lot of times entrepreneurs they feel stuck, but if you can help them make a sale and more sales, that solves so much issues that we would have. So
yes.
yeah.
All right. Oh, you're like each person that I speak to, I learn so much, and I hope you people out there, wherever you are, learn as well and take in as much as you can and apply it in your own lives. Right?
Yes, and no excuses now. It's
I
like you
know.
can go to our website,
Yeah.
acbncanada.com, and get that support. Fill out our business needs assessment. That allows us to find out what you do need for your business, and then we will call you so that we can work on a plan together.
Mhm. Hey, all right. This one I ask because I want to know and I'm sure others want to know. Most of these questions are because I want to know, but I hope others
Mhm.
can get something from it. Do you have meaningful relationships and how do you nourish your friendships? Or how do you nourish them?
I know, yeah, I know. I definitely have to get better at, I'll say, being a good friend because you get so busy in life that you usually don't take time to just go out for lunch or grab a coffee with a friend and learn about what's happening. We get so used to just doing Zoom calls or just texting, and texting has no context where
Yeah.
you can't see a person's response, you can't feel their warmth. Just a hug is so vital to being a human. So being better at one, keeping in touch. So yeah, the text helps to let people know like, hey, I'm thinking about you. But then planning those meetings to actually see a person in person, see what's happening in their life, and it not only be about business, just
Oh,
socially connecting. I'm trying to get a lot better at that for sure.
oh, wow. That's absolutely right.
Mhm.
Okay. How do you demonstrate that you're grateful?
Well, that is also something I'm trying to get better at because
Mm.
even with my kids, so now Jasmine, she's 12, and Christian, he's 9, in the evenings talking to them about what are they grateful that happened during the day. And I introduced it to them because I know I needed to get better at looking back and saying, yeah, what did happen today that was good, or what am I grateful for? Because it really gives you energy to start the next day. So that's a practice that I found is a way to recharge your batteries after a day can take you in so many different directions. And it's like a lot of times you go to bed with that negativity. So trying to remember like things that are happening well, yeah, that's been a practice that I'm really leaning into because I love the energy that you get from it.
You can recall things that happened uh in the past that was great too. So then they
Yeah, true, true.
it's just one of those things. I remember my son and my daughter, when we used to live in apartments, it
Mm.
was pouring rain and we were in the backyard. We were just like going to run inside and we ended up just running and staying outside and running around and throwing the
You
football.
see it
You
and
know, and it's
enjoying
just
it.
like that's a moment that will never leave me. It will
Yeah,
bring me back into like gratefulness.
I love that.
Mm, alrighty. In your opinion, how does one become great?
Oh boy. You
Mm.
know, it all comes down to definitions as well.
Mm.
But when you say great, because that's different than success, and I
Mm.
find great comes from practice.
Mhm.
And when you pick a discipline, and no matter what it is that you want to do in life, if it's something that you're passionate about, or even if it's just something that you have to work on as your job, you might not be passionate about what you do, but you can still be great at it because you put in the work to practice. And that's one thing I remember my music classes. It was amazing to me, a person that could not play an instrument. I remember I used to play the flute, and I was like, how am I going to learn this? Like, you just talk yourself out of trying. And then my teacher just said, this is the note, this is how you play it, go home and practice. One note. And when you practice something and you realize that you can get it, it just unlocks your whole world because you go from not knowing how to do anything to now knowing how to do it a little bit, and you just keep building on it. So I mean, I didn't become no like orchestra uh, uh, participant, like I'm not saying I'm great at any instrument, but I'm definitely above zero. So
Right.
now if I did want to be great, that's when you'd have to put in more practice and say, okay, this is something I want to be great at. So committing is really important because you can't become great by accident. That's one thing that I've noticed.
Mm.
If there's anything, and when you see great people, I mean, you see a Kobe Bryant, you see a Michael Jordan, it's committed to greatness. They say this basketball thing, I'm gonna dominate, and they put in the work. So if you see stuff that you want to be great at, you got to put in the reps. Like it comes from constant practice, and they say it's not about just practice makes perfect. It's like no, practice makes permanent. So
Mm.
when you keep practicing, now you can't do it wrong. That's really stuck with me. So anything that I do, I try to say, okay, how much time do I have to keep doing this thing and practice this thing in order to get great at it? So when people see that I have a lot of connections, let's say on LinkedIn, and I send like different emails, like I practice that. Like I practice how to send messages to connect. and I practice how to make sure at a networking event I find out how to connect with a person on LinkedIn, and then I follow up. So a lot of that stuff comes with practice, but people see it's like, oh man, how do you get so much engagement and you, right? Just like that. It's like, nah, it takes that practice. And even like you said before, practicing to be a good person if you want to be a great person, that part, it's a long, lifelong process. Nothing just happens and ends. There's no end to greatness. Like you have to always put in the work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm just like grateful that I get to meet all sorts of people who at one point in my life I thought I would just be alone and I never meet anyone. I'll just be like a hermit, you know?
Oh, no, right, right.
And so now, like I get to hear, like I told the Lord one day that I want to be around greatness be so I can learn. I want to be around wisdom so I can learn. Take me away from people who are trying to stray me away from the things I need to focus on, you know? And it's like it's here. Here.
Yeah, and it's so wild because Eric Thomas, the
Yeah.
motivational speaker, he
Yeah.
was in town. And
Oh
one of
yeah,
the things that he
yeah, I
said,
know.
right, at the next level conference, he said, in order to get where you actually want to go, a lot of times you have to get yourself out of certain environments that you're in. And then once you're in the right environment, then you actually can, get to your purpose. So that those things have stuck in my head because
Mhm.
you think that you can't be anywhere else. You just think, oh, wherever I am, this is it. But the world is so big, there's so much places where you can be in a better environment. So, but one thing I did want to ask you, I was curious, is there anything that you've identified that you want to be great at? Like, what are some things that you're working towards?
Ooh, I want to be great at sustaining and maintaining myself and my family. I want to
Love
be
that.
I want to be
Yes.
great at I want to be great at honoring the Lord and making sure that I'm doing what I'm asked what is asked of me, which is community and
Yes.
connection, which is love and respect and honoring others and showing them all everything there is to know about mental wellness. I want to be
Love
great
that.
at speaking in to large audiences like Eric Thomas. I have his
Yeah,
book.
yeah, right.
Do you have his book? You?
No, I had this
Oh,
other one. Oh my gosh, I had the Audible version of it.
oh,
The first one that he wrote, that just was more of his autobiography.
yes.
Yeah, I like that one.
I want to be great at being of service.
Yes, yes, yes.
I want to be great at um fostering wellness and togetherness.
Yes, I love that.
There's so thank you for that. There's so much like I just
Yes.
need the right people at the right time so then I can learn and flourish and then show others no gatekeeping here.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
I love that. And that's where every day you're working towards it. That's why I love what
Yes.
you're doing because you're putting in the practice now, but it's practice through action. It's like you're
Yeah.
doing the podcast that's going to open up all those doors. So I just want to let you know I'm proud of what you're doing. And
Thank you. And I hold that dear coming from you because you've saw like I've come to you a lot of times over the years quest being an ask hole, which is someone who
okay.
asks
Yes.
but doesn't just this is yapping at the beak, right? So
Yes.
ask holes just ask, but then you don't when you realize if you start this way, you're not gonna end
Mhm.
the same way,
Ah,
you know?
very true.
So I'm putting in my elbow grease here for sure. For
I
sure.
love it. Yes.
Yes. Support and appreciation is where I come from. Yeah, I'm corny. I am the corniest, nerdiest one, but it comes from a good place, you know?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
and I believe that my business is going to make change because I have great intentions and I wrote down some maneuvering that may get me uh to where I say I want to go.
Hey, I love that.
Hmm. All right, so two more and then we are done. Or I think one more. Let's see. How do you navigate hope?
It's really making sure that being an example that inspires hope in others. Because a
Mm,
lot of times I've heard other people say, like, yo, there's nothing that gives me hope because the world can be so dark and bad things keep happening. So if you can be something that gives a person some light and they can look at, hey, Brian, we just were on Dragon's Den with Detailing Nights and seeing how that's inspired people. So now they might not have been hopeful that they could ever get on that show, but now seeing somebody that they know get on it, it's like that thing is possible. So being able to work with or being an example that can be inspirational to somebody. So hope stays alive and then hope breeds action because when you know and you hope for something to happen, you will start moving towards it. So now I want to be somebody that inspires and also be an example so they can see, like, hey, it can be done. And it's inspiring to see it being done that I want to do it too.
okay, last one. I should have given this one earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it because you have a lot. So I just want to understand how you work around it. So I'll just ask it. How do you maximize the return on your time?
That's where building a strong team is important as well, because so many different aspects of running your business can take your whole day.
Mhm.
Just the marketing side can take your whole day. Just hiring people can take your whole day. Just doing the service, like if I spend my whole day cleaning cars, when would I be able to do the marketing? When would I be able to create a strategy to franchise and take over the world? So buying back your time by bringing in people that have expertise is one of the biggest ways that we can leverage our time and amplify our work because a person that can actually do something better than you can now get you 5 times faster to that destination than you trying to figure it out yourself and wasting 5 years of your life trying to figure out how to build a website. It's like, no, there are people that know how to do this that can do it better than you that you should be able to bring in. And also looking at, like, I'll say chores that we do that you can actually outsource. So cutting your lawn, cooking, cleaning your car, cleaning the house. There's so many ways that you can buy back time doing the laundry. I mean, there's ways that you can now carve out 15, like 10 to 15 hours and imagine that's being taken care of. And now 10 to more 15 hours in your business. Like there's ways to amplify and leverage what we're doing if we look at ways to delegate. And a lot of times we always feel like, oh, but I can't afford that kind of stuff. Well, how much is your time worth? Because if you're working in your business and you can spend an hour and make $1,000, is sweeping the floors really the best use of your time? Like, if you're going to be sweeping the floors for an hour when somebody that you could pay $20 to sweep the floors
And
and
do
now
other
you can
things.
go make 1,000. Yeah, we have to get better at analyzing how much our time is worth and then looking at better ways to spend our time so we can actually be optimizing and making the most money possible.
Thank you. I needed this rejig of thought. I really
Okay, yes, yes.
so I really appreciate it. Like I want to just meet I say I want to interview 10,000 plus people
Yes, yes.
because it's not about me. It's about
Right, right.
somebody. Yes, it's about me because I get to speak to people like yourself. I get to learn, but also it's about other people building themselves up and their mental wellness because seeing someone like yourself is going to make change. You and West Hall in one place. Come on.
Right, right. Yes. Well, and that's where I really appreciate the work that you're doing because things like this is needed. And one thing that I noticed, hold on, let me just make sure. One thing that I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate what you're doing because even in the Black community with, you know, we can always blame racism and anti-Black racism with our businesses, but you creating a platform like create instead of hate, that allows us to now create solutions instead of sitting down feeling, woe is me. I can't run a business because the world is racist. Nobody will give me money. It's like, no, what can we create instead of hate? So I love that you've put together this platform and I'm honored to be on it. And I really just want to say thank you for the invitation.
Thank, thank you. People think I want, like, I'm a person that will be off camera.
Okay, right.
I'm not a person to be social, but I want
Yes,
to be
yes,
social because there's a great need. There are
yes.
my business is that people think it's only for persons with disabilities. Nope. Persons with disabilities already know what they need. They just
Okay,
need the
right.
people without disabilities to work on their own mental wellness so then they don't cause no havoc out there in the community.
Okay, yes,
This
yes.
is what
Right.
I'm in, like that's the part I'm interested in. If anyone in that realm, working in that realm, social services, ODSP, school systems, nurses, lawyers, doctors, all of these people need to come talk to me.
Yes, yes.
They need to come talk to me because I am a non-judgmental, safe, um, community member, peer coach
Yes.
is what I call myself because I have some credentials and I want to put it to good use. So I'm just like rambling on because I can't believe like I just need a couple people to be like I see you and not because of clout but just because they actually do. So thank you
Sure.
for those words.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. So, and before I say my spiel, is there anything else you'd like to say or let everyone know about like anything that you're doing? And also, if you can please share your contact information and website and so forth as well.
Yeah, I'll start with if there's people out there looking for opportunity, detailing nights, we're going to be franchising and selling territories next year, 2025. So definitely reach out if you're interested in working with us, running a territory in your city, whether it's in Canada or the US. So go to our website, detailingnights.ca, and fill out our form to show your interest. Or if you have a young adult or a teenager that's looking for a summer job, our youth program usually starts up February and March. So definitely check our website. There's a sign up form there as well so that they can work with us to learn that they have the potential to start their own business. And then if you're running your own business and can use support and looking to grow, definitely connect with ACBN, the Afro Caribbean Business Network, by going to our website, acbncanada.com. And that way you'd be able to fill out our business needs assessment. That way we'll see exactly that you need and we'll give you a call and work with you to build a strategy to grow your companies. So I again thank you for the opportunity to get that out so people know how best that we can support. I'm looking forward to meeting and hearing about another 6,000 Black entrepreneurs because we have such great ideas. We just need a bit of structure and help with getting those revenues up.
That's right. Yes. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'll say my spiel now. Create Don't Hate was born out of frustration, the frustration of individuals hating on other individuals with differences. We wanted to start a movement of hope, courage, and love and build community and connection in the process. Create Don't Hate is a real practical way of sharing hope to those who have been muted and shut down because of just who they are. Create Don't Hate was and always will be an anthem that I would play to get through the tough times. Miss
I
Natasha
love it.
here, and I thank you, Ryan. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
you.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. It's always great seeing you.
Thank you.